So let's talk about what the greatest drink ever created is.
It kind of is.
What is a Shirley Temple? Well, it's not that simple. What do you think you start with? What, in your opinion, what do you start with of a Shirley Temple?
Cherries.
Okay, other than that, like, what is the liquid?
You know, I don't even know. It's like seltzer water or something?
Well, most of us use Sprite or 7-Up, which in itself is a debate. But if we're going strictly traditional, you gotta use ginger ale.
Ginger ale,
Which
really?
I don't think I've had that, but that sounds great. And then you add your grenadine, which, again, guess what flavor grenadine is? Because I never knew this.
Grenades.
It's war flavored.
War flavored. No, what?
It tastes like Vietnam.
What flavor is grenadine?
Well, what do you think grenadine is? The syrup, that red syrup.
Yeah, actually, I have no idea.
Grenadine, which I always assumed was cherry flavored, it's pomegranate flavored.
Oh, okay.
Everyone thinks it's cherry flavored because of the next addition to the drink, a maraschino cherry on top. Everybody, including me until about a week ago, thought Shirley Temples were cherry flavored, but they're actually not. It's grenadine flavored, and there's just a cherry on top.
Very odd.
It's weird.
I'll have to rethink my entire life
It
now.
just kind of tastes like red.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
I've always thought the same thing. The way I think Windex tastes like blue.
Yeah. I'm drinking a prime color right now.
I've tapped into a higher sense.
I have that disease where I can taste colors.
It's synesthesia.
Yeah. That you can say, but you can't say simulacrum.
How dare you?
So then there's the occasional addition of a slice of lime on top. And in Canada, they apparently put orange juice in it.
All right. Well, I can't have it then.
But, well, I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out. But that's the Shirley Temple. It was the original mocktail. This was the first one, the Shirley Temple. Then there's the 4 Boys version, which I resent because I will always order a Shirley Temple anywhere I go. I'm definitely not 4 boys in a trench coat. The 4 Boys version is the Roy Rogers, which is the same thing, but they use Coke instead of...
okay. It's just like a cherry Coke.
Pretty much, well, a grenadine Coke.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just taught you that. But some people call that a Shirley Temple Black, which is funny.
Okay.
That's her married name.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the first thing I ordered at a bar when I turned 21, the Dirty Shirley.
You did?
Which has vodka in it and ruins the entire thing, in my opinion.
What's bad about adding rubbing alcohol to a drink? Why would that be bad?
The sweetest thing you can imagine. What's so wrong about adding the exact opposite taste?
I think you just need it made better.
More vodka. But this still leads us to the real question. What is a Shirley Temple? In brief, Shirley Temple was born April 23rd, 1928, right here in Santa Monica. Another, like Billie Eilish. She was the original Billie Eilish.
She was the really...
Billie Eyelash, more like it. More,
funny.
The way those eyes, Greg.
It's a little girl.
At age 3, she started acting in her first movies, a series unfortunately titled The Baby Burlesques.
Okay.
And she had a natural talent for dancing, so Fox, not the guy who made the Orange Bang,
The guy who blew up the bridge or whatever.
Guy Fawkes, picked her up, probably literally, and made 9 movies with her. And this was the height of the big old depression. So this sweet, innocent, little optimistic girl dancing was just what the sad sack American public needed to see at the time. And
Look at her. She's not starving to death. We're doing fine.
Yeah, she's so plump. And she became huge, not physically.
Nobody was.
It was the depression. Her movies, they were wildly popular. She was making more money than the president, who wasn't. FDR said, as long as our country has Shirley Temple, we will be all right.
Oh my God.
She was like the original Bitcoin. She was like a currency in her own.
Imagine them saying that about like a child star. As long as we have Jonathan Taylor Thomas, we'll be fine.
As long as we have Finn Wolfhard, America will always pull through this. Her pinnacle came in 1934 when Bright Eyes, where she sang the song that we all know from TV infomercials of CD box sets, On the Good Ship. Lolly soda pop. People loved this performance so much she was awarded a special Oscar for outstanding personality that year.
You seem chipper. You want an award for it?
Most chipper.
Anyways, I'm halfway done screaming to Judy Garland about something.
You don't win it this year, Judy. Here you go, little Shirley. Between 1935 to 38, she was the biggest thing in America behind eating sawdust. By 1940, she had already been in 43 movies.
Oh my God.
She was 12 years old. I can't even do the math on it.
I mean, like, they shot a movie a day, basically.
Yeah.
So
well, for her, they did. She retired from acting in 1949 and went on to have a really impressive political and humanitarian career, but we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about soda pop.
We're talking about little girls and soda pop.
Why is there a drink named after her? As the story goes, it was Shirley's 10th birthday, and she was out to eat with her parents, but she started complaining because her parents were drinking old fashions and
bought by their child's success.
Yeah,
on the back of her
paid
child.
for by this daughter's mangled feet from doing tap dancing, and she didn't get to drink old fashions because she was 10.
Yeah.
So the staff, who would never work again if they made 10-year-old Shirley Temple cry, whipped up a non-alcoholic equivalent of an old-fashioned out of things they had lying around, ginger ale and grenadine, complete with the cherry on top.
That is incredible that I never saw that those two things
Neither
are the
did
same thing.
I never put it together.
Wow.
But
It's so funny because I always associate, like, if you had put a Shirley Temple in a rock glass, like the way you usually get an
you'd
old-fashioned,
make the
I'd be like,
connection.
oh, those two things are the same thing.
Are you two related? Now, where exactly this happened will always be debated.
I bet.
Yeah, the Royal Hawaiian Hotel in Honolulu claims they invented it because Shirley would vacation there a lot with her parents. More locally, some people say it was the Pig and Whistle.
Oh, okay.
One guy named Smithy Lowther claimed...
Okay, first of all, his name should be Liar Liar.
Liar.
Lyre.
So he claimed he invented it at a restaurant in Hollywood, but he never said what restaurant that was.
Yeah.
The most widely accepted answer is one of two places. Most people believe it was at Chasen's, which was at 9039 Beverly Boulevard in West Hollywood, which is now a Bristol Farms.
Okay.
Of course.
Why
What isn't
wouldn't-
a Bristol
yeah,
Farms in
exactly.
West Hollywood? But supposedly they still have part of the old restaurant preserved as part of their cafe.
Oh, wow.
But then there's the people who believe it was, of course, the Brown Derby.
Yes.
Which makes sense because they did drinks named after celebrities all the time, and also Shirley Temple herself said it was invented there. So that might be
know
the
who to
place.
trust.
I don't know. I think it's Liar Mick Liar or whatever we called him. Liar. His maiden name is Pants on Fire.
Pants on Fire. It's French. It sounds more lyrical in French, but in American it sounds like
when
Pants
he
on
came
Fire.
to Ellis Island, they changed it. But here's the twist of lemon. Shirley Temple hated the Shirley Temple.
You're kidding.
She hated the taste of them. She said it's a saccharine, sweet, icky drink.
Is she describing herself or the drink? I'm confused.
It's a saccharine, sweet, icky drink. I hate myself. And she said in later years, all over the world, I am served that. People think it's funny. I hate them. Too sweet.
She's sounding a little bit more like
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. Yeah, she sounds like the little kid at the end of Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he's like on camera. He's like, "Oh, anything, Mother Margaret," but off camera he's like, "Why? She showed up late every time." That sounds like
How dare they? I wanted an old fashioned. One person tried to give her one once, and she said, "If you drink that, you're going to get diabetes." She hated the idea of her name being on what was essentially a cocktail for kids.
right. Call it that. It's much better. Don't call it mocktails. Call it cocktails for kids.
Kitty cock. No, don't call him that. Never mind. I take that back.
Scratch that, please.
On top of that, she said she was not even there for the creation of this drink, and the whole story, she was never served it as a kid. She says that the Brown Derby just made it up, and she had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Here's what. Okay, well, for sure she wasn't in the Pig and Whistle when she was 10 years old. No way. Jonathan Taylor Thomas wouldn't be let in there. No, there was Shirley Temple.
And Liar McLiar, I think we can't trust him. Yeah, so she says she had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It just was made.
It's weird how I believe her because she's Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
And the drink is called Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
And she probably knows better.
And
than
why
me.
would she lie?
And why would she not Liar Larson?
So Shirley Temple's going around putting animal crackers in her soup, hating the Shirley Temple. But decades later came someone who wasn't a child star, Bradley Weidman. He was just a regular man from Encino, not an Encino man, who loved soda. Kind of like an Encino man. He decided to make his own soda company, so he sold his sports car for $30,000. It's Encino. Everyone has a sports car. And he started making sodas, and he'd sell them to delis and yogurt shops around Encino, and it eventually grew into a whole West Coast thing called Soda Pop Kids. But then in 1988, he decided to make a bottled version of the Shirley Temple, but he didn't want to risk being sued, so he called it the Shirley Tea, with the tagline, the Shirley Temple soft drink.
Okay. It's not Mickey Mouse.
It's Mickey M.
Yeah.
The Mickey Mouse Mouse.
The Mickey Mouse.
the Michael Mouse. And then he got sued. Shirley Temple, the woman, was very protective of what she would and wouldn't allow her name to be attached
Smart.
to. She picked which toys, which dolls, which music boxes.
Now, sorry, I hate to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Which toys or which toys?
She picked witches.
Witches. She burned
There's
those toys at the
three
stake.
meanings we're talking about. All three meanings apply. She curated
Thank you.
which toys, which dolls, which music boxes that her name was on throughout the years because she was very careful about the Shirley Temple brand
Yes.
and image. She said a celebrity's name and image is all a celebrity has, so she wasn't going to let it just be slapped onto anything.
Smart lady.
One time she had to sue a carnival because they had an elephant named Shirley Temple, and they were putting out signs to draw people in that said, Shirley Temple's in here.
You're kidding.
No. Come see Shirley Temple.
You're kidding.
Come meet.
Okay, does
get
the
an
outfit at
autograph.
least have like little locks? Did they put it in like a Buster Brown's or something?
They cut off its ivory and turned it into locks.
It's a great bit. You're making us 50 cents.
What a
Wild.
thing. What a thing to walk, like the man-eating chicken from the Little Rascals to walk in. This isn't the little girl I want to kidnap.
She knows where gold is buried. I know it.
Earlier in 1988, she even had to sue Shirley's Temple, Inc., which was a temple. It was a Jewish temple.
It was a Jewish temple. I'm not going to say what she was, but she was that.
It was in Santa Rosa. They were trying to sell the original Shirley Temple soft drink, and now she's suing Weidman. She hated this drink, and she said him trying to do this exploited her name, diluted her name's value, and also invaded her privacy.
Right.
He was all set to launch an ad campaign that had commercials of a cherry doing Shirley Temple's dance moves that he spent $100,000 on, and all that had to be put.
Oh my God, how many cards did he sell to do that? I totally side with her. And the weird thing is, like, you're probably going to get to this. I don't want to, like, jump the gun on it, but, like, just call it something else. Well, the drink is good enough to survive a name change.
We're getting into, like, a very heady... And I'm not just talking about when you pour a soda too fast into it. This one's got a lot of froth. So you'd think this would be a standard copyright infringement sort of thing, but this trial took a really interesting philosophical turn. His lawyers argued that the name Shirley Temple no longer belonged to Shirley Temple.
The girl, the woman.
The name, they believed that the drink had been around for so long attached to something, the name Shirley Temple, something so common in everyday life, the Shirley Temple drink, that the word Shirley Temple had at a certain point changed from being a proper noun to just being a noun.
Wow.
Shirley Temple was now just part of the language and thus was part of the public domain. Wow. This is what his lawyers were claiming, to which she argued, no, it's my name. I'm Shirley Temple, and you're stealing my name.
Named after me.
There had been a few other lawsuits that decided that sometimes brand names of things became so common that they just became the public domain name of those things, like a thermos or cellophane,
Band-Aid,
Kleenex,
Q-tip.
But Weidman's lawyers posed that this was the first time that a person's name had crossed over into meaning the same thing as the product named after them.
Right.
There was the celebrity deli sandwich name defense.
Right.
But Shirley's lawyers said that if this guy wins, it's going to set a precedent for a day when Clint Eastwood would mean the same thing as pastrami.
Right.
Like, I'm eating a Clint Eastwood sandwich.
And it's nationally understood.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, make my sandwich. You think you're mustard, punk?
I'm laughing for the effort, just so you know.
So the whole thing turned into this Samuel Beckett play, and in the end, the lawsuit went in Shirley Temple's favor, but that didn't stop the continuation of the legacy of the Shirley Temple drink. And in the end, Weidman's lawyers were exactly right. Like, the drink is still available almost anywhere because it's easy to make and none of the ingredients are perishable.
Yeah.
So they're always around, and kids and some adults, they like it because it's delicious, and it's also made to order like an adult drink rather than just shot out of a dispenser like most kids' drinks are. And it's weird to think that Shirley Temple, legendary movie star at one time, now has a legacy that lives on not really in her movies, but in this drink.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, I don't think I had ever seen a Shirley Temple movie, but I would drink her drink all the time, and it was a part of my life and is more tangible to me than the woman herself is at this point. And it's weird to have a drink named after you, but it's not even like it's the Julia Roberts Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
In this case, Shirley Temple was the Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, the Long Island serial killer.
Yeah.
There's no other thing to call it.
No, it crossed over. Like, it just evolved.
It never had another name.
No, and the only other drinks like that are the Roy Rogers, which is nowhere near as popular, and also the Arnold Palmer.
Right.
But he's still kind of recent, and he hasn't quite crossed over into that singularity we should all hope to someday achieve, the union of human entity with carbonated beverage.